Hello everyone, True here, back with another video. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. And today we will be taking a look at probably one of the oldest decks in the standard format that has recently won a tournament. This deck won Chill's yesterday, I believe. It won yesterday. It won Chill's Wednesday tournament. If you don't know what Chill's is, it's a big online tournament that's happening. It's hosted by PTCGO. I'll link the Discord server in the chat. And the deck that won yesterday's tournament was Pidgeotto Control, or something, or Bird Control, you can say. Generally, I have no clue how this deck works. It's been a while since I've played Pidgeotto Control myself, and this deck list looks nothing like the good old Pidgeotto Control list that I have played, so I'm definitely pretty excited to showcase this deck list today. Yeah, this deck is super wonky, so the general idea behind the deck, I think, is to utilize Pidgeotto's Airmail ability, which allows us to look at the top two cards of our deck, put one of them into our hand, and put one other one on the bottom of the deck. So this is like a Minccino, but you don't discard any cards, and you only get one card in return. And some additional Pokemon you play along with Pidgeotto are the Persian's Make 'em Pay attack allows us to really hard counter Zacian. Normally you see players who play against Control stack up on a really big hand if they don't know what they're doing, and then you can come in with Persian out of nowhere and really punish them for holding on to so many cards. Now, I believe the general idea behind this deck is to boss something up, trap it, and make it so that our opponent cannot move that Pokemon out of the active. For this reason, we do like playing Make 'em Pay Persian to discard those switches. If our opponent is playing something like ADPZ or Loop Metal, Persian really helps out in those specific matchups because they play high amounts of switch. In order to recover cards and not deck out ourselves, we do play two Munchlaxes. Munchlax Snack Search ability. If you haven't seen my Starly Control video, I ranted about how good Munchlax is, and yeah, Munchlax is back, super good, allows us to basically put any card from our discard pile on the top of our deck, which is super good, but it's based off of a coin flip, but more times than not, we do hit heads. 50-50, we hit heads. In those times, we can't shuffle back in ordinary rods and things like that, so we will hopefully not deck out. And we play a 2-2 Pidgeotto line. We play one of Pidgeot. Probably if our opponent is playing let's say a green stack and they only play with one Pokemon because they know what we're up against, we can surprise them with Pidgeot and then make them lose the game because they don't have a bench Pokemon. I believe this card was played in the tournament because the tournament was open list, and for this reason, Pidgeot forced our opponents to actually bench something, because if they didn't, they would lose. Pidgeot, definitely a very strategic card for open list tournaments, to say the least. We play one of Starly because we do play 4 Bird Keepers. We can go into Starly and search out our deck for any 2 cards we want and put them into our hand, which is pretty good. Starly definitely very cool in this deck. We also play a 2-2 Altaria Swablu line. Altaria is sort of like a wall. This is something we can go into to force our opponent to attack with their 1-prizers. While we Intrepid Sword for a turn or something like that. Altaria can also be our win condition if our opponent doesn't play anything that counters it. So Altaria definitely pretty cute in this deck. We play one of Absol to help out to help with the trapping of a Pokemon in our opponent's active spot. We play 2 Zacians, 2 Cryogonal. Cryogonal's Frozen Lock makes it so that our opponent cannot play item cards. So once we gust something into the active, we can hit it a bunch of times with Frozen Lock. Make it so that they can't retreat by playing Switch or anything like that, and force them to pay the energy cards. For items, we have 4 Crushing Hammers, 2 Evolution Incense, 3 Dolls, 1 Ordinary Rod, 3 Poketoms. Really interesting decision. Only 2 Quick Balls. I'm not sure on that one, but this is the winning list, and I'm not going to doubt it. We play 3 Galar Mines, 1 Labyrinth. That makes sense. We can attack for free with Starly, and our opponent's probably gonna have some. Labyrinth just acts as a really nice way to bump Swell, because more times than not, we're actually not really attacking. So Labyrinth is just there to disrupt our opponent and bump Swells, because more times than not we do want Galar Mines in play. So Labyrinth acts as a really nice, sort of acts like Swell fodder in my opinion. Play 4 Bird Keeper, 3 Boss's Orders, 3 Cynthia Caitlin, 1 Lieutenant Surge, 1 Yell Grunt, 2 Triple Acceleration Energies, probably to attack with Pidgeot, I would imagine. No, and Persian as well. No real other reason you're probably not attacking with Altaria most of the time, though you could. Triple Acceleration Energy does open up that option. We do play 4 Capture Energies, 2 Water Energies. Yeah, that's all I have to say for this really creative Pidgeotto control deck, and let's hop into some games. Alright, so hopping into our first one here against Cadia 108. Good luck to him or her. Yeah, I don't know whether or not we want to go first with this deck. We do lose the coin flip, so we're not gonna get to choose here. We are going second by the looks of it. We do see the dark deck box. Our opponent chose to go first. There's a pretty likely chance, I would say, that we are up against Eternatus, which I would assume isn't a bad matchup unless they're playing the Garbodor version. That basically poisons the active, and I don't think we have a way to win that matchup. But let's see what we're up against here. There's the Zacian V. Alright, this is not Eternatus. I completely changed my mind. Forget what I said. There's the air balloon to the active. That's actually really annoying because we don't play Tool Scrapper, so we don't have a way to get rid of the air balloon. There's the Cherish Ball. I imagine we're up against ADPZ. I don't think Zacian alone would play Cherish Ball, and Luke Metal doesn't normally play the Dedenne, so I would assume we're up against ADPZ here. Yep, there's the ADP. Yep, definitely interested to see how this matchup goes. I'm pretty content with the starting hand we have here. Have a Quick Ball to search out like a Pidgey. We have a Bird Keeper to go into Doll. Yeah, this hand's pretty good. There's double Saucer from our opponent onto that Zacian V. That puts a pretty good bit of pressure on us. There's the air balloon to the Zacian V. I don't know how I feel about that one. They might have well, they benched the bat anyways, so I was gonna say they could have put the air balloon on the Dedenne because we would have tried to trap the Dedenne, but I guess they were gonna bench the Crobat anyway, so it didn't really matter. They are down they're down 2 switches. Alright, that's really good. That is something to note. Our opponent probably plays 1 to 2 swells, so we do want to keep that in mind as well. I'm gonna start off by benching the Doll here, playing the Bird Keeper into the Doll. There's a Munchlax, there's a Calm. Alright. This deck's really so hard to play. I don't know how to play it. Do I want to play the Hammer now, or do I want to hold off on playing? I think I'm going to hold off on playing the Hammer till our opponent drops the Water. I definitely want to see how that one pans out. So I'm going to hold off on dropping the Hammer. I could theoretically Quick Ball, go for a Cryogonal, and try to Hammer if it hits heads. Frozen Lock them so they can't pull off the turn 2 Altered Creation, but I feel like our opponent would just go with the Brave Blade, and that would leave us in a pretty bad spot. I think we go for a Zacian here. Yeah, sort of forgot about Zacian, to be honest. Let's play the Pokécom here. Something we do need to keep in mind is that we cannot bench 2 Zacians. We can only bench 1, because once they KO 1, they take 3 prize cards instead of the normal 2. And if we bench 2, we will likely lose the game in 2 turns. So we do only want to bench 1. We're going to bench the Zacian here. Quick Ball away. None of these cards feel good. I'm going to Quick Ball away to triple here, because we have the Water to work with to attack with Persian. And we also do want to keep in mind that we have Altaria available, so if our opponent doesn't play Duraludon, we do just win the game that way. I think I'm going to actually just grab a Swablu to work with. I think I like grabbing Swablu here instead of the Pidgey. I think Swablu here just feels fine. Alright, we're going to grab the Swablu here, bench the Swablu. Gonna hold off on doing anything else, but use the Intrepid Sword. There's 2 Evolution Incenses to work with, so if we don't get Marnied here, we are sitting in a very good spot, a very dominating spot to say the least. Opponent has a big hand to work with. They retreat into the ADP. There's the Water Attachment. Do they have a way to disrupt our hand? There's the Saucer. That's fine with us. Do they have a Marnie? Or a Stamp? Even a Stamp would be sort of devastating right now. Yeah, we definitely want to grab out the Altaria if our opponent doesn't play the Duraludon or any 1-prizer other than what they have on board. They could play the Aegis Slash, actually, now that I think about it. So we definitely need to be wary of that. Looks like our opponent's burning cards. There's the quick ball. Yeah, it looks. Let's see if they pull out the Aegislash here or not. Aegislash could be. No, there's the Milotic. But that can't hit into our Altaria. There's the Stamp from our opponent. All right, that's fine. Stamp not as bad as a Marnie to say the least. No way to search out a an Altaria, which really stinks. Does our opponent play the Duraludon or not? Is my question. They opted not to play the Mawile. I think that's a little bit of a misplay. They could have threw down our Zacian and they probably could have won the game that way. I'm not sure how I feel about that one from our opponent. I'm gonna throw down the Crushing Hammer here. Hopefully it hits heads. No, it does hit tails, unfortunately. I think I'm going to commit the Capture Energy to the Swablu. But then again, we could... I'm gonna hold off on playing the Capture Energy. I think I'm just gonna go with the Bird Keeper into this stall. See what we draw into. There's a Calm. Do I want to go for the Altaria now, or do I want to commit to the what do you call it? The Altaria. I think I'm gonna go with the Altaria, to be honest. Our opponent cannot attack us with Aegislash out of nowhere, unless excuse me, unless they hit a bunch of energy switches and a Saucer, I would imagine. So I'm gonna grab the Altaria here, bench the Altaria. I'm sort of spooked about using Intrepid Sword because our opponent could theoretically play another Mawile. That could be really bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna commit the Capture to the Altaria here. See what we have in deck. I'm not gonna grab anything else because our opponent cannot win the game if this is our remaining board state. So I'm gonna go with the Intrepid Sword here. No basic Pokemon, so if our opponent Mawiles us, we're safe. That is good news. Let's see what our opponent has working for them this turn. Hey, and there's the concession from our opponent. They didn't have anything against Altaria, and yeah, that's gonna cost them the game here for not playing the Mawile, I guess. And then, yeah, that's gonna be game 1 with Bird's Control, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, so hopping into our next game with Bird's Control against Relic 94. Good luck to him or her. Opponent's gonna call the coin flip here. Let's see what they call. They're taking their time. We do win the coin flip. Last game we did do pretty well going second. I'm gonna opt to go second here. See how that pans out. Let's see what our starting hand looks like. Not bad. We do have a Munchlax to start with. I'm gonna opt to start with the Munchlax here. Does have free retreat, so we can retreat into the doll if need be. Hopefully we can top deck a Bird Keeper or some sort of way to draw cards like a Quick Ball so we can get a Zacian or a Calm. Have a solid bit of outs. No, we actually have Capture Energy. Just forgot about that. We can Capture Energy for a Zacian V, draw a bunch of cards and go from there. So, not going to start the Starly yet. See what we're up against. There's the Zacian V. Could this be another ADP Z matchup? Let's find out. So, let's see what our opponent has going for them this turn. They cannot pull off the turn 1 Altered. No, there's the Goggles. Looks like we're up against Luke Metal. Again, this is an auto win if they don't play the Aegislash V. That's gonna be the real question here. They didn't get any energies off of the Intrepid Sword. That's actually huge for us. I'm gonna throw down the Capture Energy onto the Munchlax here. Let's see. Both of our Altarias are in deck. We also can punish our opponent pretty hard for having a big hand with the Meowth, which I definitely want to set up sooner or later in this game. I'm gonna prioritize setting up the getting out the Zacian here first. Retreat into the doll and go for that Intrepid Sword. There's a Swablu, that's really good. We can bench Swablu next turn. We also have Hammer, Galar Mine, Capture Energy to work with, so all nice cards to see. We can even win by attacking with, well, if our opponent Full Metal Swallows us, we actually don't do any damage, which is sort of scary. But we can definitely still win the game by stalling our opponent. I was going to say we can win by attacking, but since they have Goggles to work with, as well as Full Metal Wall, we would actually be hitting 0 damage. There's a Marnie from our opponent. That's really annoying, but it also sort of takes the pressure off of us because they Marnie their big hand into their deck, which we'll definitely take. Let's see what we draw here. Quick Ball is good. Pidgey is good. There's the Intrepid Sword from our opponent. They do not hit any energies again. Alright, that's really good for us. Start off with the Bird Keeper into the Munchlax. Draw some cards. There's another doll. I think I'm gonna... I don't know if I want to bench the other doll or not. Definitely gonna throw down the Pidgey. I think I want a quick ball for the Swablu. I think, do I mind filling the bench here? 1, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't think I mind filling my bench here. Gonna quick ball away the doll. Go through our deck, grab a Swablu. Grab the Swablu here. Swablu definitely feels nice if our opponent doesn't play Aegislash. We do just win the game that way. Bench the Swablu, I think. We could theoretically go in with Starly this turn, but I don't really think that's necessary, to be quite honest. I think I can just commit the capture to... Maybe I should have grabbed out the Meowth, to be quite honest. We can actually set up 2 Altarias, but I don't think that's really necessary. I want to go for the Meowth here to punish our opponent sooner or later. I probably should have quick brawled for the Meowth and attached the capture to the Meowth and then grab out the Swablu. That's a little bit of a missequence on my part. Retreat into the doll here and then just go for that Intrepid Sword. See what we draw into. There's a Yell Grunt, 2 Galar Mines. Nothing terribly useful there, unfortunately. Let's see if our opponent has another Marnie to work with. They attach the Coding Metal Energy to the activation. Just the Intrepid Sword again. Alright, we're gonna try to punish our opponent next turn for having this big of a hand. There's the Starly. I think I just want to go with the Bird Keeper first. Unless I definitely want to protect the Swablu by grabbing out Altaria, but if we can't draw into an energy, I do want to attack with Persian this turn. Going to go into the Munchlax here. See what we draw. There's a capture energy. Alright, I think I'm going to commit to using Persian this turn. This is going to allow us to get rid of quite a few cards. And hey, if our opponent's Aegislash is actually in their hand, from that Intrepid Sword we can actually get rid of it, which would be super cool. We can also get rid of some saucers. And yeah, this Make 'em Pay is going to feel pretty nice. Our opponent has a 10 card hand. We can get rid of 6 cards, which is super nice. We hit them for 0 here. Let's see. There's the Aegislash. Ladies and gentlemen, we read our opponent like a book. We're going to get rid of that pesky Aegislash here. Get rid of Boss's Orders. Get rid of this. Oh man, these cards are just going to waste. All of these cards, they're gone. They're gone forever. Our opponent did play that Aegislash, and because we committed to that Make 'em Pay play, we're going to get rid of that Aegislash here, and unless our opponent plays something like an Ordinary Rod, they're not going to have a way to recover it. I think I'm fine getting rid of the Mallow and Lana, instead of the Switch. Do I want it? And there's the concession from our opponent. They knew it was over, and today's going to be a rather short video. I'm going to cut it here. Yep, that just shows the power of Bird's control. And again, that's gonna do it for the video today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, remember to stay safe, and have a good day, and peace out.